Can Justice Be Served by the Sword? The book, The Justice of Kings. The author, Richard Swan. My rating? Let's get into it. The Justice of Kings comes out on February 22nd. Thank you so much to the publisher Orbit and to NetGalley for the advanced copy. We follow Sir Conrad von Vault, a justice for the Emperor. He's sworn to uphold the law as the judge, jury, executioner in far-flung regions. His absolutist and lawful good view in the authority vested in him is both his strength and burden to bear. This internal struggle unfurls as he investigates a murder in a quiet town, as it blooms to affect the fate of the Empire. The first marketing blurb I saw for this book, I saw Conrad von Vault described as a medieval Judge Dredd. And that's a fair, quick depiction of him, but I don't think that does him justice. You see, Judge Dredd is much more of a shoot first, ask questions later kind of character, whereas von Vault is really more like a detective. He's following the clues where they lead him and trying to do his diligence because he thinks as an upright man, as a lawful man, he's keeping notes and he's keeping tabs to be held accountable for his actions. So it's a very different thing. Dredd is not human like von Vault is. In the first chapter or two, my ears perked up as I realized something about our author, Richard Swan. I say this with love, and it's really a benefit to the story, but you can kind of tell that this story was written by a lawyer. So why do I think that? Well, for starters, some of the sentences, especially the descriptions in the beginning, were written with multiple clauses. Not run-on sentences, but multi-claused. It reminded me of contracts, where they pack in a lot of dense information to hammer home some fine point. We also have a deviation. It's relevant, but it's an aside moment where a character pauses to explain the purpose and function of insurance. In a previous life, I was an underwriter, so it's always funny to me to come across in these fantastical worlds some tangent about how insurance and the risk mitigation is beneficial to the economy. This is also done in Terry Pratchett. He introduces it as in sewer ants, and the whole town doesn't understand what the point is. Don't let this dissuade you. It is not dry, it's done well, and it is relevant to the plot. Also, much more relevant to the plot is our main character, Conrad von Vault. Von Vault is mostly superhuman, and when you look at him through this lens, you realize he's really a lawyer's wish fulfillment. Along with his great sword fighting and sharp mind, he also has two magic powers. The first is the Emperor's voice. It's like the Bene Gesserit voice, which allows him to compel people to act or to speak. That's a classic choice a lawyer would make, to have the ability to force someone's testimony. His other ability is to speak with the dead. And this necromancy is deeply relevant to the plot, but again, it's a lawyer's dream to be able to access information that's been held away from you. I really like that the story and our view of von Vault is seen through the eyes of Helena. Helena is a fully realized character herself. She has aspirations out of just following in von Vault's shadow. She'll have good days and bad days where she can look up at von Vault in awe as this almost superhuman, absolute perfect guy. And she'll have bad days where she'll say, I'm frustrated, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I didn't choose this life for me, and here I am forced to do something that I'm feeling burdened by. It's like she'll say, I'm tired of studying for this bar exam. Why can't I go out and have relationships with other people? Hearing her disagreements with him is a really important thing because it gives us the necessary separation to realize that while he's fantastically skilled, von Vault is still just a human and trying his best. As I said, having Richard Swan be a lawyer is a benefit to this story. Even though we're still in a fantasy setting in a fantasy world, the real conversation and conflict is about the concept of justice. We follow von Vault, this upright man who is tasked to uphold the law, and we see him reconcile, where is the letter of the law correct, or is it the intent of the law? This story pits the law of man and the law of nature against each other to be hashed out through the courts and by the sword. What is a just law and who can determine that? Who can enforce them and how can they be enforced? Are such universal ideas that are profoundly important. I would rate The Justice of Kings a 4.5 out of 5 stars. This book is fantastic. It's a tightly knitted story, but it reads quick and yet still takes the time to hammer home and make you think about those important points. It gave me the room to think deeper and left me with more questions at the end. I can't wait to see how Richard Swan's series will unfold after this fantastic first installment. Thanks for watching. I've changed up my setting a little bit here. Hopefully that works out well. I think it does. But again, I really enjoyed this book. And as a reminder, it comes out on February 22nd, and you should all pick up a copy.